Greetings Berserkers, FiOth here, and in today's video I wanted to discuss something that really peeved me last night during the stream. It is one of the mechanics that are integral to gear in the first Berserker Khazan. That's been bugging me since day one, since my very first MG. Now in New Game Plus Plus it becomes more apparent and more annoying because of how persistent it is. You would think it would go away at some point going into Legendary gear, but sadly it hasn't. Before we start and get into the nitty-gritty, please take a look at these two graphs. These are the number of subscribers in contrast to the numbers of non-subscribers watching my vids, and if you've been following my channel lately because you're getting suggestions, it means you see I am uploading a ton of Khazan stuff. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so I can get my content out to you easier. Very much appreciated. Without further ado, let's get to it. So this is my inventory and this is my jar. I think I paid about 1 million gold for this jar in New Game. These jars can be purchased only once. You purchase in one of the jars once and you can never repurchase them again. That means that even if you were willing to dish out the millions of gold you will need to in later playthroughs, you won't be able to do it. It's just a one-time stock and you're done. As you can see, my level on this jar is 180 and Khazan is level 313. Can you imagine why this is the case? The first Berserker has a fundamental problem when it comes to crafting and maintaining gear to a relevant level. I'm gonna explain what I mean with a very recent example. Yesterday I started playing and I was talking with a follower about the set, the golden set. He was saying that if you want to use a spear and utilize trance, you will want to use the golden set. And as I was brainstorming with him, he was telling me you get swift attack damage and trance damage as a fixed attribute. And I was like, this is amazing, you're absolutely correct. Let's craft this thing and let's put everything together and see how well it works. And I indeed crafted it. You can see like these gloves are 298 level. Okay, so I start playing the game, I keep moving forward, and an hour later I was getting 313. I was just getting 313 level gear, and my up to the beginning of that stream, I suppose, top level gear was about 15 levels lower than what I was getting from the ground. Now mind you, you might say that's not that tragic. Every time you can come back to the crevice, you can just sacrifice a legendary item, which is materials you wanna actually hoard to craft the stuff you want, to bring this up a couple of levels. And that is exactly what I wanted to talk about, the discrepancy when it comes to leveling stuff up. So we're gonna talk to Oksana and we're gonna augment. So let's go to these gloves, shall we? Let's go to the golden gauntlets. This will be our base, and we'll feed it the Devourer of Darkness wristbands to see what results we get. Now mind you, the golden gauntlets are 298 and the Devourer of Darkness are 313. There is a 15 levels gap there and they're both legendary. So we're augmenting the gauntlets with the Devourer of Darkness wrist guards, and as you can see, it takes it up 2 levels and costs 31,000 gold. Now, if you can't see my gold at the top right, 31,000 gold is a non-issue. It's pretty much nothing. It's a very minuscule amount. But the problem here lies in the fact that in order to maintain this gear, you have to sacrifice high quality gear in order to bring it up just a couple of levels when the difference in level is 15. Do you want to go more hardcore about this? Let's talk about the jar. Let's talk about the jar that you cannot repurchase, you cannot recraft to have one closer to your level. It's 180, and I'm gonna use this 310 dragon scale that rolled 700 extra defense, by the way, to bring it up. It brings it up 2 levels. Talking 140 levels of gear here. The difference is just 2. And it requires 5.3 thousand gold. This is a pretty pathetic state of affairs, and it is very pathetic and very annoying because it stops you from attaining a very integral part of the experience of playing these Nioh-like games. I'm gonna go to change attribute and I'm gonna explain. I rerolled this jar to be pretty much perfect. It's damage increase, stamina damage increase, and defense. And back in the day when 180 was, you know, a level I could live with, these buffs were pretty nice. Like 455 defense when you're 180 level as an extra bonus from your headset, it's a pretty good deal. Now the problem is, I spent hundreds of thousands of lacrima to roll this the way I wanted it. And that is true with every single piece I am wearing. Golden pauldrons, max health, defense, max stamina. Then we got the gloves, stamina damage increase, damage multiplier increase. Then we go into the leggings, defense, max health, max stamina. Go into the boots, potent blow, stamina damage, max stamina, damage multiplier. Rerolling cost me upwards from 5 million lacrima. 5 million lacrima, even now that I'm level 313, is a level I could just invest into the character, get me closer to the level cap. Why would I want to get closer to the level cap in this game? Because I will stop getting trash level drops. Because everything that drops, as long as it will become obsolete later on, because I'm gonna get something of higher level, is gonna be close to my level. And that becomes doubly important when we're talking weapons. This is my survivor spear. I crafted it right before I shut the stream down. This is a Templar Knight spear that I got during my runs, and this is a Soul Piercer that I got like 40 minutes before the stream was done. It is 12 levels lower than my survivor. Sorry, 13 levels. This is preposterous. Then, mind you, this is not the one I crafted at the start of the stream when I was talking to the people I was telling you about. This I crafted before I turned the stream off. And this is a pretty okay-ish rolled, but you have seen the previous one. You should have seen it, guys. Like, it had extra damage. It was awesome. I cannot spend 2 million Amrita every 1 hour of gameplay to just reroll a spear. And they become exponentially more expensive the more you reroll, and then you have to use the Augment of Wisdom to reset the cost and keep going. Why would you use an epic tier consumable? Let me show you which one I mean so I do not confuse you. It's this one. Used to reset the increased cost from rerolling gear attributes because they know that eventually the cost skyrockets and makes the whole process non-sustainable. Now in Nioh, what you could do, once you got Divines, the new game plus tier of item quality, you could transfer the attributes from one item to another. Let's say this damage increase or defense or stamina damage increase, you could transfer it into another helmet and optimize and mix max everything. Not to mention that whenever you fed the level of an item into an either item, you got the entire deal. This 180, if I fed it a 300 level item, it would take it to 300. The cost was high and there were perks to mitigate that, but it was a one and done deal. You did it once, you got your level up, and then you could wait, you know, for 5 levels and then do it again. The cost would not be that crazy. But as it stands here, you have to do this shit every single time, and I'm in New Game Plus finishing the 3rd region now. That means I'm close to the end of the content, and I am still picking up gear I know will be useless when I reach the end boss. It is not a good system, it is not sustainable. Someone on the stream said they're doing this to keep people playing and making content for the game. You don't want me to keep playing your single player game, trying to express my preference in gear crafting 100 hours later by just forcing me to grind gear I'm gonna throw away. And remember, in Khazan you can open a chest once per cycle. The only way to get good gear after you have finished your playthrough is to farm elites by restarting missions, by resetting missions. This can get pretty old pretty fast. So they have to work something into their system that makes it more viable. And what I would recommend, of course, is just a one and done investment of an item into an item you want to keep to bring it up to the level that the item that uses as material is currently at. One and done. Will it cost 2 million gold? Knock yourself out. We'll pay that. We'll stop wasting materials and stop wasting our time. Super important. If the devs watch this, guys, please take care of this, because it's a huge detriment to how people can optimize their gear and ultimately enjoy the game. Thank you for watching, my peeps. This has been my vid for today for Khazan. I'm covering everything in the game. Let's have a discussion about this. How do you feel about the leveling process? And please check these two vids if you want to see some awesome build crafting for the late game. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!